Yo, 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 yo. What's up, guys? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. What's going on? How's everybody's weekend going? Hopefully well. Hopefully well. Another beautiful day. Another beautiful day. Some more raft today with the kids, yeah? Get that done. Um, as always, we'll do our gaming news segment. I actually finally, dude, I've been working a lot the past few days on the stream. And I finally got the sound alerts and GIF alerts and stuff moved over into a new program. So they are all just channel points now. So that's it. Channel points for all the alerts. And anybody can play them now as long as you have channel points. So that's what I wanted ultimately in the first place. I found a nice program I think that's going to work moving forward. And it seems like it is the play. I've got all the ones that we had been using uploaded. You should be able to see them in the redemptions for the all the redemption rewards in there. They should be there. And I've got some ideas for some new ones that I'm going to be throwing in there moving forward. Took me a while to get everything pulled over to what we were using previously into the new program, and I've got some ideas for some stuff moving forward. Cool. I don't know. Let's again. Hope everybody's day is going very well. It's good to see you guys. Let's do what we do. Let's hop into this gaming news segment. Cool. Let's go. Let's go. We hit on this already, like 2 days ago. 2 days ago, pretty sure. So if you want to, seems like a really cool little. I'm not familiar with any of their titles, I don't think, but really, it sounds like a really cool little indie studio, Zachtronics, and they've got a cool little game coming out. What was it called? Let me pull it up real quick, and we'll just be. Last Call BBS. That's it, right? I think this is the name of this game coming out. Yeah, yeah, this is it. Looks pretty crazy. Little puzzle game. Um, looks pretty cool. That's what they're known for. Known for making puzzle games. I'm not real familiar with this dev, but they are dissolving, right? And but basically on their own terms. It's like a dev of about 5 people, and they basically just had different ideas about what they wanted to do moving forward individually, and they decided it was time to each pursue their own aspirations, as it were. So that's just kind of the way it worked out. And I think that they had kind of come to the consensus within the team that they were happy with what they had done at this point with their little indie dev, their little indie studio. So if you're familiar, take a look at Goodbye BBS, or Last Call BBS, excuse me, that I just pulled up there on Steam. Looks like a cool little puzzle game. And a couple days ago, I think it would be like June 24th edition of Gaming News on YouTube. You can see a more in-depth look at this article, okay? But we love our indie devs, man. And even though they are, dissolving that studio, still support, right? Still support, because they're all going to be moving on to continue to make games and stuff. So, you know, it's good to still support. Overwatch 2 will replace the original, making it unplayable in October. So, ultimately, Overwatch 2 is just Overwatch 1. So all they really needed to do was make Overwatch 2 a patch for Overwatch 1 and just keep calling it Overwatch. Ah, okay. I mean, the reason this is funny is because this is what people were saying from the get go, right? Whenever people got their hands on the beta and everything, they're like, well, it's nice, it's cool, but it's really not a whole lot different from the first one. So why did they make Overwatch 2 instead of just patching the first one? And now they're getting rid of the first one, and it's like, okay, they should have just patched the first one instead of calling this Overwatch 2. I don't know. We'll read about it. $15,000 later, Diablo Immortal player finally has his legendary gem. Excuse me. We hit on this yesterday. We've talked a lot about this recently. I'm going to skim this article. Look, we talked about this yesterday. There's a very popular streamer on Twitch that didn't get their legendary gem until they spent over $25,000. And then they immediately deleted the game, and it was a great, move for content for that individual. But ultimately for me, again, I mean, I'm at the point where I won't play another Blizzard game till I see something change within this corporation. I won't do it. It doesn't matter if it's free to play or not. Free to play still contributes to what their numbers show as player base. Yo, gamer, what's up, buddy? And so I won't do it. I will not support Blizzard anymore. The company, everything that I know about what this company has turned into, from the culture, the way they conduct their business internally, they treat their employees, to the scummy, exploitative crap that they've done in Diablo Immortal. I can't do it. I can't do it. And it hurts because this is a company that I grew up loving. But it is not the company that I grew up loving. It hasn't been for a while. And so I won't support them anymore. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how much I might want to play a game like Diablo 4. I really would love to play that game when it comes out. But until I see something change, I won't. And I don't know. Even though, like I said, that content creator, that streamer on Twitch that spent $25,000 to get a legendary gem, even though, really what it was they were marketing this, promoting this as a way to show people how much money it took to actually get in-game items, one in-game item, and they did a very good job at that, showing that it took them over $25,000 to get that. It still contributed to the issue, still contributed to the problem. Doesn't matter if they uninstalled the game right after they were done or not. And let's be honest, it was really a ploy for content, and it was good content for him. So I'll skim this, but we already know what this is about. Wrath of the Lich King is where WoW Classic starts diverging from WoW. Gamer, how are you, buddy? Yo, no work today, right? It was just yesterday, yeah? We already read about this yesterday. Armored Core. Pretty sure this is Armored Core. Yeah? Miyazaki's next game. Pretty sure it's Armored Core. We'll find out more as we get closer to, them being officially releasing stuff, but pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah. So Asmon was watching a guy talk about. Wait, Asmon was watching another person talk about this person's own experience, or was watching another guy talk about Asmon's experience with Diablo Immortal? Which one? We read about this already as well. This was a few days ago, I think. But it wasn't from Kotaku, obviously. It was a different article. But again, it brings up a good point of like, nowadays, things get released all the time. We know about games. Any game that like gets shut down, we know about it fairly, relatively soon after that happens. Whereas back throughout the history of gaming, that wasn't always the case. As fast as times have kind of changed where we're always on top of what games are being created and when they're supposed to be coming out and things like that. Whereas that wasn't always the case throughout the history of the gaming industry. But nowadays it's like we still find out about these games that were like being developed and got kind of X'd, and from what I can what I've gathered from the article we read earlier this week in the news section, Scarface 2 basically got X'd because who was it that was developing this? I can't remember off the top of my head, but they got bought out by Activision. Activision said, "Yo, we're building too many other open world games, so you're done making Scarface 2." That was it. You're going to work on our other games that we're making. That's it. And that's why it died. So who knows? It could have been a good game. Who knows? Could have been a bad game too. Maybe that's why they said you're done with this one and you're going to work on ours, because they saw what they were creating and were like, this isn't going to be as good, potentially. Get past the last raid. I would have to look into that. What I can say is that everything I had experienced in Lost Ark, up to where I was, and I got up past item level 1400, I didn't pay a cent. So, if there is pay to win in it, I never experienced it. Oh, the other gamers experienced, not Asmon's. Okay. Um, yeah, that's something I would have to look into. Yeah. Well, and I think again, how people look at pay to win, we have to be careful because um, some people are going to consider my idea of what pay to win is that you literally cannot advance unless you pay, right? Um, there's a difference between a true cannot advance pay to win mechanic and a you can pay to advance quicker, or you can still complete the stuff free to play, right? And some people are going to look at that and go, I'm not going to waste all that time, so I'm going to have to pay to advance, right? And I'm wondering if that's what this individual was referring to, because again, I was pretty in game at that point. What I had not done is basically I quit playing Lost Ark right around the time where the new content had dropped, and I didn't get into the new in game content, and maybe that's what they're referring to. But everything that I know about the game, and even all the stuff that had been released in the eastern part of the world, was that they still had a very, very dedicated view at the free to play player base and trying to make sure that the free to play player base could get everything done as a free to play player. I would need to do some research. Um, okay, yeah. So something about Lost Ark taking people's money, then after a while making the content accessible. Mm. So maybe, yeah, incorporating it to where like when new content comes out, the only way you can kind of get through it is if you pay a little bit. But then after most people have paid and they see where most people aren't going to pay anymore to get to that content, they kind of open it up free. I mean, look, I'm not going to be defend. I'm not going to defend Lost Ark. The only reason I use Lost Ark as an example is because I spent 400 hours in the game as a free to play player, and I got through all the content of the game up to that point. You know what I mean? That's why I use it as an example. That's it. So ultimately, if they incorporate that kind of mechanic, that feels bad a little bit. Yeah, feels bad. I would say it's still a little bit different. They're still at least making it to where a free to play player at some point can get through that content, as opposed to um, like Diablo Immortal, where a free to play player just never ever will. You know what I mean? There are lots of ins and outs to the subject that we continue to go over and address. because there are so many different ways that these companies incorporate these pay to win, pay to progress kind of mechanics within their titles, right? And we'll continue to talk about it because it's a very prominent topic within the gaming industry right now. And again, I'm not trying to defend anybody necessarily. All I can talk to is what I've experienced myself and what I've been informed of and educated on as far as what I've come across within the material I've accessed regarding a lot of the titles and things like that if I haven't played them myself. So you know, I appreciate that info though, and who knows, that might be Lost Ark's kind of um, mechanic moving forward, if you will. It was like uh, every time they come out with new in-game content, it's like, well, if you wanna get to the if you want to be able to progress through this content when it first releases, you're gonna have to fork over a little bit, and then as new content's about to come out, they'll be like, oh, okay, well, we'll make it easier for like free to play players to kind of get through there. That could be the play. That would be another way I could very much see a developer incorporating a way to suck money out of people. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll try to see if we can dig into it. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, man. Yo, gamer. Look at all the rewards, dude. Look at all the token rewards, buddy. I'm working, man. I've been working, dude. The redemptions. I know it's not like significant yet, but I'm working, man. F's in chat for Bernie Stoller, the former Sega of America president and SCA executive who oversaw the founding of Sony, has died at 75.
Hackerman. He's the most powerful hacker of all time.
Yeah, Bernie Stoller, Hackerman. F's in chat, man. Thanks, gamer. Yeah, I've been trying to find a new program, man, to get all my alerts into and stuff for the community for sound alerts and GIFs and all that stuff. And finally got that hooked up. I've got more that I'm gonna try to get hooked up here before long, man. So we'll have a lot more stuff for people to play around with, have fun with, spend tokens on, stuff like that. Cool. And now everybody can use it, man. Instead of that stupid one I was using before that I didn't realize when I set it up only certain people would be able to use it. That sucked. But I've been needing to get that done for a long time. I've still got a little bit of work to do on it for some of the commands that come out because it ties into Stream Elements and it's a bit funky with the new thing I have going on. But I spent basically all night last night transferring everything over into the new program, so it's good. It works, man. That's the main thing. Yeah, we already know about this. If you're not familiar, they've got like Amazon Prime has about 20 to 25 free indie games right now on their Prime Gaming, right? So if you have Amazon Prime, go check it out. They've got here, I'll just link this to you real quick. They got a bunch of indie games right now in anticipation of their Prime Day coming up, which they're going to give away like another 25 games roughly with the big like game they're promoting for their Prime Day they're giving away for free is Mass Effect Legendary Edition, okay? So for like roughly the next 2 weeks, you can go get all these indie games. Understand there's a few games in the indies that they want you to like link up your account to other accounts and stuff. So, but most of these titles you can just click for free and just grab them. Okay. I'm gonna bring this up. Epic Game Store introduces rating system designed to avoid like review bombing. Okay, we're gonna skim this real quick. We talked about this the other day, like a few days ago. We read where Epic Games is introducing the rating system to circumvent review bombing. The thing that I found concerning was that they were basically saying you couldn't leave a review unless you had played a couple of hours in a game. At the same time, they were only going to be randomly picking certain people to leave reviews. I found that concerning. If that's the case, and they're not actually setting any kind of threshold for the they're in my opinion, this is the way I think it should go, and I'm probably gonna like throw a tweet out or something. I meant to do it the other day and I forgot. Probably throw a tweet out at Epic and be like, "Yo, why are you not setting a threshold for a certain amount of hours being played in a game that allows somebody to leave a review?" Because ultimately, if somebody has spent a decent amount of time in a game, that usually means they're going to have a pretty good idea of what the game entails for other players, right? It's not always going to give you an, perfect example of what you're going to experience because we have different preferences of what a game has to offer, right? Or what a game's experience is going to be from person to person. That's just the way life works, as us being different people. But ultimately, it feels weird that they are potentially not just going to let anybody that has over like a certain threshold of hours leave a review on a game. They're only going to prompt certain people that have like a random, they're only going to prompt random people that have only a certain number of hours, like 2 hours played. That feels really weird to me. I understand their need to circumvent review bombing. That's good. But to not allow people that have played significant amount of hours in the game to say like, okay, you've played 25 hours, cool, you can leave a review if you want. That's a bad play as far as I'm concerned. Let's pull that up. Next Nintendo Direct will focus on third-party games. Okay, let's take a look. We've read a lot about what Microsoft Edge browser is doing. Take a look over the past couple of days news segments on YouTube. Okay, they are really, really incorporating some features and technical stuff into Edge to make it a more compatible browser for Xbox's cloud gaming. All right. Supposed to enhance some of the visuals for what you'll get in your cloud gaming streaming experience for Xbox's cloud gaming. Basically make it to where whenever a game comes up, all the tabs go away. Like the browser just like basically, gets subdued. But as soon as the game is exited, everything pops back up just like it was. Lots of things that they're trying to do to incorporate it. No, not necessarily. I don't think so. We actually had this conversation the other day, Cash. Good to see you, buddy, by the way. We had people in here talking about how they had spent over 1,000 hours in certain games and would 1-star review them. And I was like, that's crazy. You've spent 1,000 hours in the game and you would 1-star it? And they were like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I think that's yeah, I agree. And that was my point as well. Yeah, I think if you spend 25 hours in a game, it's because you enjoy it. Yeah. But if you only spend 2 hours in a game and you get prompt for a review, do you think that's enough time to actually get a good consensus of what a game totally has to offer somebody? See, I'm not going to be looking at a review where somebody has only 2 hours in a game and going, oh yeah, they have a really good idea of what the game totally has to offer me. I'm sorry, I'm not. You know what I mean? I think it's a good idea that anybody that has 2 hours in the game, they randomly get picked. You know what I mean? I don't think there's a perfect solution here. That's not what I'm getting at, right? I don't think there's a perfect solution. I think they're making a good play here to try to circumvent review bombing. It's an issue. But at the same time, I find it concerning that they're not allowing people that have a significant amount of time in a game to leave a review, because most of the time, people that have a significant amount of time, maybe 25 is too much. I was just throwing a number out there, okay? But at least some kind of threshold of time in the game to say that they've got at least some kind of better idea rather than just 2 hours, you know? Well, again, I don't know what the perfect solution is, but I find it concerning that I'm not going to put much stock into a review that only has 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? I think it's good they're avoiding review bombing. I don't know what the perfect threshold of hours is for somebody to spend in a game to get a good review of it, but I'm not going to be putting much stock into somebody that only has 2 hours in the game. But I do think that there should probably be it's going to be skewed all the time, right? It's going to be skewed all the time. That's why you have to pick and choose the reviews that you really want to look into. All the reviews that I look to for a game that I actually read to see whether or not I would like a game or not is a review that points out pros and cons, okay? That's what I'm always going to do, because that's the same thing I do for every game I play. Well, they should. That's the same thing Steam does. They should show how many hours played. That's what I want to see. That's the same thing Steam does. If they don't show that, I don't know. They don't have to. Again, what I look for in a review is where somebody shows what their.
That one was on me.
The reason I want to see, Yo Wick, what's up? The reason I want to see how many hours somebody has played, so I can tell if they've got enough of an experience in the game to give me a good review. You mean that could be the solution, not showing the hours? I disagree. I digress. Oh, you mean the filter? So you can filter more than 10 hours played. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, filter could work. Again, I mean, you have to be careful at any kind of review you go and look at, right? And for me, the kinds of reviews I always, the only kinds of reviews I really put any kind of stock in are reviews that tend to really do the same thing that I do with games and gives me a nice look at a list of what they saw as positives and what they saw as negatives in a game. Because that's the same thing I do. Yeah, let everyone review, show hours played, and filter. Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing Steam does, and that might be it. I don't know. I think, obviously what they're trying to do is circumvent the review bombing thing, which has been an issue. And I think that not allowing just anybody to go in and review without hardly any time played is not necessarily a bad play. Again, I don't know what the perfect solution is, but I do think that there should be at least, maybe it's, you can't leave a review unless you've played 2 hours. You know what I mean? And just not make it only random people can do it. Maybe that's the thing. You have to at least have 2 hours played in the game before you can leave a review. Maybe that would work. You know what I mean? Instead of it just being, you can't leave a review, it's only random reviews and you have to have 2 hours played, Maybe that's the solution. That could be it. I don't know. Again, I'm not going to put a whole lot of stock into somebody that only has it depends on what the game is as well, though. You know what I mean? Like a game like Vampire Survivors or something, 2 hours is a good amount of time to get a consensus. But a game like I don't know, God of War or something like that, you know, or Elden Ring or Pillars of Eternity, I'm not going to put much stock into a 2 hour review. You know, it also depends on the title for sure. You know, so I don't know. 2 hours is plenty in some games, not enough in other games, and ultimately that might be the best play. Kind of right in there between what we're both talking about is not necessarily a huge threshold before anybody can leave, but just no reviews until you've played 2 hours in a game, and it just doesn't need to be random. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the play. That could be it. And still being able to filter out between how many hours reviews have or whatever. Yeah. Wick, what's up, buddy? Yo, you like that, dude? You like that? I mean, whenever. Yeah, I mean, I know, and that's why I'm very careful about reviews myself as well. But I will look at reviews occasionally if I'm interested potentially in a game. I'll look at Steam reviews, or if like I haven't heard of a game and it looks interesting, but I'm not sure of it, I'll look at reviews. But I'll always try to find one that gives me a real nice, detailed look at both sides of the ball there. You know what I mean? What they found to be good things about the game and what they found to be bad things about the game. Not that I'm going to necessarily playing the game going to have the same exact views on all of that, but because I'm that same kind of gamer, you know, and I anytime I finish a game, I try to really do the same thing, you know, for everybody here. I try to say, you know, this is what I found great about the game. This is what I found that could have been better, you know, and I'm a pretty big stickler on like quality of life stuff, things like that. Um, that's what I usually look for because I don't put a lot of stock on internet words, you know what I mean? But I think there are some people out there that do a pretty good job of because a lot of people just do it for the memes. A lot of people leave reviews for the memes and for jokes, and there are some funny ones out there too. I find very humorous, but ultimately there are some people that are really good at leaving some game reviews too, and I have found some of them to be very helpful. But I don't just go review searching all the time or anything either. So yeah, I don't know. I do think that they're maybe being a little bit short sighted on what this review process is, though. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. Again, the Edge stuff, we'll see. Dude, does anybody actually use Edge? Did anybody use IE unless they had to? Does anybody use Edge unless they have to? I feel like the like. Oh, for real? This was 2020, but dude, Safari is more popular than Chrome in 2020. I thought Chrome outdid Safari. Really? Oh, okay, there we go. Why was the other one showing weirdness? Yeah. So Chrome, yeah. Stat counter global stats, browser market share. That's market share. Hold on. There's so many different variables to take into consideration here, but yeah, there you go. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Chrome blows everything out of the water. Yeah. Yeah. Mobile. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, just making sure. I hadn't looked at that in a long, long time. Yep, and Edge is way down there. Most of them are, though, compared to Chrome, yeah. But they're really trying to promote it for their cloud gaming stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to dive into that. This is the whole... a lot of this is like fanboy, fangirl stuff. Xbox is better, PlayStation's better, and you know, that's what a lot of that is. So I'm not gonna dive into that. Best premium gaming chairs. I'm gonna skim this real quick. I would actually not mind having a legitimate gaming chair just to see what difference it made. I sit here for a long time each day. I don't mind my chair.
That one was on me.
Absolutely. Yo, wait, what? There you go, dude. I was like, did we just play that? Yeah. Yo, you guys dig it? It's actually it's feeling good, dude. I like the new program. But yeah, we'll pull this up real quick and see. Yeah, I'm lazy, dude. Smoothie Lord. Act like you do anything, dude. I am a gaming sweat lord. Yeah, look, dude, you don't get this good, bro. Making smoothies all day, buddy. All right. Had a gaming chair code for it.
Hey, shut your pie hole, buddy.
You don't get this good, dude, going and trying to deal with 20-year-olds who can't keep their fingers out of orange cutters and stuff, buddy, all right? Babysitting 20-year-olds, dude. All right? You gotta be no-life gamer, sweat lord, God gamer status, Wick. No-life Andy, dude. Let's go. Yeah, it's all good, dude. Yeah, I've gone back and forth for. I've had this chair for a long time, man, and it's it's fine. It's cool. I dig it. It's all right. I've got like a little lumbar support thing that I threw in there and everything, but I've never had a legit gaming chair. And one of the reasons because like they've always seemed so expensive, and I've heard of other friends that have had them that just like broke down and stuff, and it's like, well, I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on a chair that I'm not sure is actually ergonomic and if it's going to be worth and might just break down and stuff. But at this point, I think they're built much better and have actually been scientifically built to be more ergonomic quite often and stuff. So I'm going to start looking into it. The one I gave is pretty good. Oh, what was the one you told me about before, Cash? I can't remember, dude. Oh, the one you have. We had talked about this before. I couldn't remember if you were talking about how you had already given me one. Which one do you have, dude? I know, Pinky has a Genesis, I think. He said he likes that one. Which one do you have? Oh, dude. That was pretty good. Technosport? Alright. Yo, why didn't that work? Oh, I know why. Okay. Yeah, I gotta fix that. That's something that got messed up. Yo, that's hilarious, dude. Oh, jeez, dude. Wick, you're wild, bro. Oh, dude. Oh, yo, I started making a new emote last night, too. Just a new follower emote, actually. Just something for everybody that follows. New follower emote. Something chill. Everybody can use. So I'll probably have that done by the end of the night. What? You guys are wild, dude. You guys are wild. The future of Mac gaming might just convert a PC loyalist. Yeah, I'll bring this up, but I have doubts. PlayStation Plus leak reveals one of the biggest free games this year. Looks like it's gonna be Ratchet and Clank, I think. We hit on this yesterday. I'm not gonna dive back into this right now because if you want my stance on this, better be OA bird. um, wait, what? What's OA bird? You talking about the emo? What's OA bird? Did we talk about this? Um, this is a big issue for us in the U.S. right now, man. Um, oh. No, that's not gonna be a follower emote, dude. That's not gonna be a follower emote. That'll probably be an animated emote. That's probably gonna be animated. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have all that fire. That's actually gonna be probably OA cannibal, dude. Or maybe OA barbecue. OA barbecue might work. We might need to throw a couple of Sweet Baby Ray's bottles in the back or something. Might have to get a Sweet Baby Ray's promotion going on here. Yeah. I'll talk Pinky, dude. We'll have to figure something out. If you don't know about the cannibal thing, dude, there's a clip of the channel where I was trying to say I was a carnivore and I accidentally said cannibal. It is never going to go away now. There's a clip on the channel, man, of it. Look, again, this is a big deal. Bungie was like the first big company to step up and show their support for their employees and their disapproval of the reversal of Roe versus Wade. You know, the overturn of it and stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, this is a huge, this was a battle that was fought back in the 70s for women's rights, and we're moving backwards. And while this specifically is something that is a concern for women's rights, it's ultimately a concern for human rights, is what it is. Hannibal, I know, dude. I know. I was talking about like a meat pizza or something. I was like, I'm just a huge, and I was trying to say carnivore, and I said cannibal instead, dude. Yes, times are going to be tough in many states. Times are going to be tough in many states. And look, TLDR, as far as I'm concerned, this is an issue of healthcare, right? And this is an issue of freedoms. And this has nothing to do with my own spiritual, religious views or anybody else's for that matter. This is a healthcare issue, and this is a freedoms issue. And if you're against it, don't partake in it. You know what I mean? That's as easy as it is. But just because it's not something that you believe in doesn't mean that you have the right to take that away from other people. Well, if we don't have, we don't have. I mean, this country in and of itself is just really going down the drain, right? So, I mean, talk about universal health care. So, I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at is like things just keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, right? Right. Yeah. Yeah. There will never, ever be universal health care, right? And but it's still somebody's right to be able to seek out that option as as health care. I'm not talking about universal health care or anything. So I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, this is something that is significantly infringing on people's you know people's rights, specifically women's rights, and this is only going to exacerbate the issue of what the powers that be, whether it be federally or state level or what have you, you know, start trying to do in repressing our freedoms. You know, and it's a tough thing because, you know, it's like again, I'm not going to dive into this too much. There needs to be an amount of control, right? There needs to be an amount of governing and law to avoid chaos and anarchy and stuff, right? But there gets to be a point where it's too much, and it's people taking their own views and beliefs and religious beliefs, especially, right, and trying to impose that stuff on other people. Yeah. And that is where it gets bad. So, ultimately, I think this is one of those issues where it is definitely something that is infringing upon people's rights, and I think when it comes down to it, it's something that if you're against it, then it's just something that you don't have to participate in. But other people don't necessarily feel the same way, and they should be given the option to do what they want to do. Right. Right. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, guys. Yeah. So look, if you want to really hear my entire breakdown of this and us diving into this article, it's the very last thing we hit on yesterday's news segment. So June 25th edition of Video Gaming News on YouTube. It is if you want to get a deep dive into everything that I talked about, that we talked about as a community, and in regards to this and the game devs that are speaking out against this and everything, go check it out. Okay, it's the very last part of the news segment. All right, it's a very concerning time, man. It really is. Where does it stop? You know what I mean? It's really pretty terrible. Yeah. I'm not gonna jump back into it today because you guys know how I am, man. I'll rant forever. I took a long time to talk about it yesterday. It's one of the reasons the news segment was so long yesterday is because I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop talking about it. And you guys know me. This is not like a political platform or anything for me either. I don't like diving into politics. I don't like diving into a lot of subjects here that can get people riled up because I like this to be a chill place. But it's kind of inevitable sometimes because of the world we live in right now, and quite often, just like what that article was about, was there gaming development studios that are, you know, kind of at the forefront of the industry, kind of leading the charge for a lot of these other devs, saying we need to stand up against what's going on here, you know, and therefore it comes up in our news segment, and it becomes appropriate for us to talk about it. And I'm not always real apt to expose what my own personal views are and stuff because I don't want to get people heated, but I definitely feel like this is one where it's very appropriate. And so I took a bit of a deep dive into it yesterday, and I would highly, you know, encourage people to go take a look at the end of yesterday's news segment if you're interested. Switch getting Xbox 360 exclusives this September. Is RDR2 about to come to Switch? Is it? Is this about Xbox Cloud Gaming finally rolling out big latency? I feel like we had already kind of read about it. I'm gonna pull this up. If we've already touched on this before, I probably won't dive into that, but we'll see. Halo to Switch confirmed. Really? Is that in one of the articles we just pulled up? Oh, that's sarcasm? Dude, I was like, what? Because I was about to start researching that. Dude, you totally debated me right there. You should have just let me start looking for it. I couldn't believe that, dude. That was going to blow my mind. There you go. There you go. I was like, what? Yeah. The NFT thing. You know what's funny is I keep getting these like conflicting news articles here recently because crypto has crashed right now. I mean, it is dipped significantly. And so we've got all these crypto based games and stuff. Wick. All right, dude, I'll look it up. We've got all these Web3, NFT blockchain games that have been created and are being promoted, and a lot of people are diving into them, even though for me it's a very scummy kind of thing right now, and I try to, my advice is for people to either just avoid or do their best to educate themselves and before diving in, to protect themselves. But I keep getting these conflicting articles right now about whether these Web3 NFT games have like been able to sustain through the crash, that they're actually like crash proof, or that they've actually taken a huge dip. And what I've come to find over these articles that I've read is that like for the majority of the crypto dip, right, it looked like all the NFT games or all the crypto economy games were actually maintaining pretty steady across, even though crypto was diving. But here recently, the games are starting to dip too. So I think what it was the initial impression across the industry was that even though crypto was diving, the Web3, like cryptocurrency, crypto economy games were going to maintain and do okay. But here of recent, here of recent, it looks like these games are starting to take a hit as well. I think that's kind of the consensus I'm getting across these different, because I'm getting conflicting stuff, and I think that's why. I'm not going to dive into it, but that's basically TLDR what I'm getting. If I come across other things that give me a different impression moving forward, I'll let you guys know. We read about this. There's a lot of sales going on right now, whether it be Nintendo, PlayStation Store, GameStop, Steam. You know what I mean? There's just a lot of sales. So if you're interested in hardware, software, you name it, gaming stuff, go take a look. That you can find deals. My advice would be check out Slick Deals. I promote it a lot because it's a nice site where it's a community driven site. You can find a lot of deals. Look, pulling it up right away. We've got like monitors, games. You can go to video games right here. Boom, click on that. And the more like thumbs up it has, the more of a good deal it tends to be. You can see, you can click right here and get comments from the community on, what their idea of how good of a deal it is, or their review of what the product has to offer, things like that. I'll just put Slick Deals in chat real quick. It's a pretty solid site as far as I'm concerned. So especially whenever there's so many different places that are potentially doing deals at the same time, it's nice to have a single site that you can go to just search and find some of the best things that you might be interested in grabbing, the best deals, right? So check out Slick Deals right there, and maybe you'd be able to find yourself something. Yeah, a lot of the overturn of Roe versus Wade, man. And I'm sure we'll dive back into it coming up, but I spent so much time yesterday on it. Yeah, we talked about the Miyazaki. I'm pretty sure this is Armored Core. Again, we hit on that yesterday too, so nothing official yet, really, but a lot of the rumor mill is that Miyazaki from Software, their next game is Armored Core. We brought this up recently. You know what was really concerning to me, or what I found funny was like right after all the we hit on a every video game currently scheduled for 2023, right? And this was right after all these showcases. They legit did not have Silksong in there, and Silksong has been confirmed for within the next year, not just 2023, but within the next year, from like a week ago, week and a half ago, and it was not in the list. So I can't remember who came out with that list, but I was like, dude, they didn't even put Silksong in there. We've talked about this so much, I'm not going to dive into this. Anybody that thinks that video games spur or are the catalyst for somebody to go commit violence is off their rocker themselves. There's been all kinds of long, thorough studies about the fact that video games are not the catalyst behind prompting people to commit violent acts due to the potential exposure of violence within the video games themselves. It's just not a thing. Even studies on kids through adolescence and stuff, it's just not there, man. We talk about it all the time. We see stuff all the time right now because there's video games are constantly trying to be used as the scapegoat for violent acts through all kinds of different media outlets and agencies and things like that. It's crazy. We already read about Sony skipping Gamescom this year. Kojima was working on a game similar to The Boys? Let's go! Yo, have you guys been watching The Boys? Thank you, Cash. Nope, sure couldn't. It sure is. It sure is. I know, we've hit on that as well, dude. And I mean, dude, this is coming. You're talking to somebody that was raised with. I was raised hunting. Now, I was raised hunting with both traditional like recurve bows, and I was raised hunting with like more traditional rifles and everything, not like flipping semi-automatic, stuff or anything like that, But all it takes is a real quick look at a lot of the other countries in the world and the way that they address their handling of weapons and civilians being able to have weapons, and they have exposure to the same types of media that we do, entertainment that we do, and they don't deal with near the extent of violence, public violence that we do, mass shootings that we do, school shootings that we do. I'm gonna stop. We could go all day. But I mean, that's just going to get into a whole nother topic of weapons in this country as a business. Just like healthcare in this country is a business, just like prisons in this country are a business. You know what I mean? It's just about money. It's not about helping people. It's not about caring for people. It's about money, dude. You know? It's terrible. All right, last page, then we'll get into all these articles. New Star Wars game teased by Boba Fett actor. There's like 4 or 5 Star Wars games in development right now, man. One of them being the remake of Coder. My 2 favorite Star Wars games of all time, Knights of the Old Republic and X-Wing. A lot of people probably don't know what X-Wing is. Dude, I was playing X-Wing back on like a 386 DX2 running DAWs. You know what I mean? Old school PC gamer, dude. X-Wing was sick. But Coder, Knights of the Old Republic, was an awesome game. And they're making a remake of it. I hope they do a good job on it. We already read about this as well. Apparently, Gotham Knights is going to have a massive, massive version of Gotham City. Massive Gotham City world to explore, which is really cool. Much bigger, apparently, than even Arkham, or the biggest yet. Bigger than even Batman Arkham Knight had. So that'll be cool. We've talked enough about Diablo. Well, have we talked enough about Diablo Immortal? The scumminess. It'll keep going. Yeah, shortage of Xbox controllers. We hit on that. We've talked about this. I will believe it when I see it. They say this every year. E3 keeps saying every single year that they cancel. They're like, oh, we'll be back next year, though. Oh, we'll be back next year, though. We'll be back next year. I don't know. Even if they come back, it's not going to be the same show it was before. I highly, highly doubt it. Yeah, so, God, why do I keep forgetting? It's the advanced edition of Into the Breach. Yep. Into the Breach is getting an advanced edition, which is really cool. Free to anybody that already had the game. It's also coming to Android and iOS, and it is going to be free to play for anybody that has the Netflix app and has a Netflix subscription. So, pretty cool. Good play by Netflix there, if you ask me. Okay, let's get into these articles. Kojima was working on a game similar to The Boys, dude. I love this show. The Boys is so good. You know what I love about it, I think? It's like the reason I love Deadpool. The Deadpool movies are so they're very mature, right? And there are just certain like superhero, anti-hero, supervillain movies or shows that just need to be that way. And they nailed it with The Boys. It is a very mature show. It is very graphic. It is hilarious, and they've killed it in my opinion. Like in a good way. They've absolutely nailed it. It's a great show, man. Kojima has revealed that he was once working on a video game that had a very similar concept to the Amazon's The Boys. For those who have somehow missed all the buzz surrounding Amazon's marquee TV series, The Boys revolves around a society where superheroes are major icons, but although they may save the day, they're also capable of incredibly evil things. Yeah. Claimed video game developer Kojima took to Twitter to reveal that he stopped watching The Boys after seeing the first few episodes because it was similar to a game he was creating and he didn't want to copy it. Kojima went on to note that there were differences, stating it was a buddy game with a special detective squad battling legendary heroes behind the scenes. Kojima stated he was also picturing Mads Mikkelsen, who starred in Death Stranding, as the lead of the game. It's pretty easy to see the parallels between the general premise of The Boys and Kojima's untitled game, but it doesn't sound like the latter will be coming to fruition anytime soon, if ever. Kojima noted it was a project that he'd been warming up for a long time, so maybe there's a chance he still has a desire to make it. Kojima confirmed he's working with Xbox on a new cloud-based game, which is heavily rumored to be a horror game. It's also believed he's working with Norman Reedus on Death Stranding 2. Yeah, that's basically been confirmed. But it has yet to be officially announced. Officially unofficial announcement. Whether Kojima will make a superhero game remains to be seen, but it sounds like a fantastic... Basically, Norman Reedus already came out and said, it's already being made. So Norman Reedus basically came out and said it during an interview. New Star Wars game teased by Boba Fett actor. Is a new Boba Fett Star Wars game in the works? It seems like a possibility more than ever following a tease from Tamura Morrison, the actor behind the bounty hunter himself in the Book of Boba Fett on Disney+. As for the tease itself, it came after Morrison was asked if he would be interested in doing more video game voiceover work. Answering this, Morrison seemingly let slip that he's already doing as much. Oh yes, definitely. The game is where it's all at, too, because with a movie or a TV show, it's all over. But with a game, you can be there a bit longer. There will be some coming. I can let you know that. Elsewhere in the same interview, Morrison revealed that work for video games is harder than traditional acting, especially if you need to get emotion out of your character. I do a few voices for those video games. Very hard work. Harder than acting, Morrison said. You try and get some emotion into a voiceover. All the instructions as well, turn left, go right, you missed, try again. For now, it's difficult to determine what should and shouldn't be made out of the first quote. Seems to be a pretty definitive tease that he's working on some Star Wars game, but even if this case, I think that's supposed to be, even if this is the case, who knows what it could be. I'm telling you, dude, comicbook.com, great content, great articles, terrible editing. Like, they have misspelled, words left out, double words all the time. It's crazy. Could be a lot of things, ranging from boring to very exciting. As always, we will keep you updated as the situation evolves, but right now, this is the extent of what Morrison had to say about the matter. Okay. Let me see what Gamer has to say here. Well, I mean, I think that's where a lot of devs have lost. I think what you need to look at is the difference between an indie developer and what some of the developers that, like Blizzard, right, that we fell in love with long ago, that have turned into these just corporate juggernaut overlord money leeches, that don't care about quality really anymore or anything. It's just about money. Indie devs, there are a lot of indie devs out there that have been indie devs for a long time and are still indie devs and make a good living. The thing about it is there's a lot of money to be made in the gaming industry, right? But that's the difference. I think the big difference is between developers that maintain a focus on creating quality content and not being totally just focused on only making money. Yeah, it's a business, right? It's a business. Well, yeah, of course. Well, I mean, and a lot of that's going to come down to, are you creating quality content? This is the difference, right? This is what a lot of companies have turned into. They've created titles that they've been able to. So let me read to everybody what Gamer wrote, okay? Just curious, not that I support what Blizzard is doing, not at all. if you were part of a dev team, you make a game and you are part of the group that needs to make the game profitable after the release. How would you propose to make a profit? Just take in the money from the sales of the game and leave it at that? I ask because I wonder myself what I would do. What would any of us do? Are the sales of the games ever enough to cover expenses? I mean, there's so many variables that go into it, buddy. The thing that I think what has happened to a lot of these major devs is they've gotten these titles that have become very popular, right? Blizzard, you got Diablo and Warcraft. Square Enix, you've got Final Fantasy. I mean, you name it, right? There's so many of these devs that we fell in love with long ago because of how the passion they once had to create these amazing games and not be totally focused. Obviously, they're businesses, right? The business is about making money, but to make money, you make a quality product, right? And at the core of what they were originally, they were gamers as well, right? And they wanted to bring their passion and their vision to us to experience what they had as a vision for an amazing game as well, right? And that's why those titles turned into such iconic pieces of gaming history. But what has happened is they've lost to that. And so now what they do is they just keep pumping out these titles and they resort to these very scummy mechanics and they just lean on these titles and like, I mean, Battlefield, you know, I mean, you name it. There's all kinds of titles that get released that Square Enix still hasn't really patched their Final Fantasy Remake PC port. From you know, their Elden Ring came out. It was obviously a terrible PC port, you know, and it's like, well, they've done this before, you know, that's not an excuse, man. If a game's going to be released on a platform, it should be optimized for that platform, right? I mean, instead of just leaning on the fact that like that company is who they are and they have this IP that people love or whatever. So as far as making money is concerned, it starts with being able to create a quality product. The problem with that is that so many devs have turned into these large corporations now that know that they have these names they can lean on and go, well, we don't need to create the quality that we once did. People will still buy it because of the name that's behind it, right? And that's what sucks that has started happening or has been happening across the industry for quite some time now. Bethesda, I mean, there's all kinds of names we can throw out there, right? So there's a lot of money to be made. And it starts with creating a quality product. There are all kinds of very successful indie devs out there. Small teams of you know, these indie developers, very small, from single developers. Stardew Valley, Concerned 8, a single developer created Stardew Valley. Been working on that for 10 years now, and is now coming out with a second game. Stardew Valley, how much money has Stardew Valley created at this point? Uh, that's not right. Go back, dude. That's not right. Uh, no, no. They're giving me actually in-game profit. Um, Wiki should have something for us. Sales. By May 2022, Stardew Valley has sold over 20 million copies across all platforms, with 13 million on PC. I mean, you times that by you know, whatever Stardew Valley is going for. That's a lot of money, dude, for a single developer. You know what I mean? And he's still just a single developer, and he's creating a new game now. You know, um, so it's about what you're doing in creating content. It's not always about what you have to do to be incorporating kind of scummy mechanics as far as the industry is concerned, right? Obviously, if you're creating a free-to-play game, you're gonna have to come up with some way to, get some kind of money out of it, right? But there are examples of free-to-play games out there that have done a very good job. Grinding Gear Games, I bring it up all the time. Path of Exile, that game has done a prime. It is a prime example of a way to do a very good free-to-play game with a cash shop where it's not pay to win. It's skins, it's things that you can put into your hideout that you can create. It's some quality of life items, stash tabs, things like that. There are ways to do it that aren't super scummy, right? There are different ways to make a profit, but ultimately, I mean, I think if you're talking about and let's look at Stardew Valley real quick on Steam, right? So you remember those numbers we were talking about, right? How many sales we had for Stardew Valley since its release? Just on PC, right? Just on PC, 13 million on PC at this point, right? If you talk about half of those selling at $9 a piece, and then Steam takes what, a cut of how much does Steam get? 30% to 40%, maybe something like that. That's still a lot of money, dude. That's still a lot of money. And then maybe a soundtrack. I don't know how many of the soundtracks have sold, but and so and we're talking about a game that doesn't. This is the only DLC it has a soundtrack, dude. Everything else that Concerned Ape has made for this game, and the reason I'm using Stardew Valley as an example is because you don't see any other DLC here, right? This is it, soundtrack. That's it. Everything else that has come out for this game has been patched in. These are content patches, not paid for DLC. The game got released. It's been developed for 10 years by a single developer. It is highly, highly, highly successful. Almost 400,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews. It is a single developer, right? Absolutely enough sales to cover expenses. It's about the quality of the product that you're bringing to the consumer, right? And unfortunately, what happens is quite often the developer loses sight of what that is. They end up creating a bigger team and a bigger team and a bigger team and a bigger team, and they lose sight of how to keep bringing that content to us without incorporating, all these scummy mechanics and things like that, and exploiting us to the greatest extent possible because it's just need more money. And again, I've said this before. I'm sure there are a lot of great people that work at Blizzard, and but for what that company stands for at this point, and everything that I know about that company, and what has gone on there, I cannot support them monetarily. I cannot support them as a player-based number. I won't do it anymore. And hopefully Microsoft will turn them around and I'll see them as something better moving forward. But that's me as who I am as a very passionate gamer. And as far as my values and ethics and morals are concerned in regards to this industry, I cannot support that company anymore and feel good about myself. You know what I mean? That's just me. So yes, it can be done. It can be done. There are plenty of other examples. Stardew Valley is just the first one that came to mind, buddy. Sorry we got off topic there, guys, but it's a very good question, Gamer. Thanks, buddy. Very good question. Best premium gaming chairs. This is probably a promotional kind of thing, but Herman Millers are always really expensive. Dude, look at this. Logitech Herman Miller Embody Gaming Chair, $1,800. No big deal. S-Max Gaming Recliner. I could not sit at my desk with this. Are you kidding me? Fall asleep all the time. $390. The Razer Inky Pro, $1,000. Dude, I'm a Z tier streamer. Come on. The eWin Flash series, $470. Razer Isker X Gaming Chair for $250, reduced from $400. I need an orange chair, man. We need an orange chair. We need an OA orange chair. Orange and black. I don't want white. Respawn PC gaming chair, $169. But I feel like we've seen something similar to this before, man. Here, if you guys are interested, take a look. I'm going to try to get through some of these articles pretty quick. We're going kind of long already with how many articles we have left. Future of Mac gaming might just convert a PC loyalist. Will Mac hardware and new gaming tech convert veteran PC gamers? Everybody has their preference. I don't see myself ever going to Mac. Random emote time, guys. Try to get your free sub in there. It's Morphin time, guys. That's the emote you're looking for. Try to get yourself a Morphin time emote through exclamation point random emote. Get yourselves a free sub. This is a long article. They've recently been incorporating some new stuff to try. Apple has to make their the Metal FX upscaling is allowing them to get some more AAA kind of titles playable on their Macs, like RE Village, No Man's Sky, stuff like that. But I think they're a long ways away, man, from actually being anywhere close to taking over the PC gaming realm, or even like coming to a level playing field. But it's there in chat. I'm not going to read that whole thing. We already kind of knew what that was going to be about. We've read about how they're incorporating these new, this new kind of technology from their end, anyways, to try to get some more high-level AAA titles to be able to be played on their devices. But Macs traditionally have not been very great gaming devices. PlayStation Plus leak reveals one of the biggest free games so far this year. Looks like one of the biggest, best, and most popular PS5 games is coming to PS Plus, but not the base version, nor via PS Plus Extra. But with PlayStation Plus Premium, the most expensive version of the subscription service. While the big selling point of PS Plus Premium for many may be the access to PS3, PS2, PS1, and PSP games, its library is also brimming with many great PS4 games as well as some great PS5 games. And there aren't many PS5 games much better than Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which looks like it's coming to PS Plus Premium library and coming soon. It hasn't been confirmed, but over on Reddit, one PS5 user noticed the game is showing as a PS Plus Premium title over on PSN. Could be a mistake, but it's not uncommon for things to be wrongly listed for PS Plus. There have also been times when PSN has leaked upcoming PS Plus games in this exact fashion. They have not commented on this. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is easily the best game that the PS5 now has to offer, reads the opening of our review of the PS5 game. From top to bottom, it offers an experience that is practically faultless and keeps you from ever wanting to put the controller down. Not only is Rift Apart itself superb, but as a showcase for what the PS5 is capable of, it's likely the best example we have seen so far, and continues to verify that Insomniac Games is one of the best studios in the world. Insomniac makes good games, man. They really do. So there you go. We'll see if it actually ends up coming to fruition here. Take a grain of salt with this, but there is the potential. Switch getting Xbox 360 exclusives this September, plus Halo Infinite. Right, guys? Halo. That's what you guys said, right? Switch Lite, and Switch OLED users are getting an Xbox 360 exclusive and its sequel this September. When you think of 360 exclusives, You think of series like Halo, Gears of War, Crackdown, Fable, and Dead Rising. The 360 is Xbox's best-selling console so far by some margin, and it's partially because of its exclusive games. Every other generation, man, I'm really stopped up today. Can you hear it? We've had a lot of rain, and it's like still hot, so there's a bunch of pollen, man. Every other generation, Xbox's exclusives haven't compared to the exclusives of its primary competitor, PlayStation. Back in 2011, Tachian released a game called Bullet Soul via the 360 and the 360 only. At the time, the game was only available in Japan, but when it came to PC in 2017, it came to a worldwide audience. In 2014, a follow-up to this game was released called Bullet Soul Infinite Burst. Again, it was a 360 exclusive and a Japan-only release before coming to PC and a global audience in 2017. Fast forward, and now the pair of games are coming to Switch, Switch Lite, and Switch OLED via Mages. When the pair of games release via the Nintendo eShop, they will cost $20. Right now, there's no word of the pair of games coming to any other platforms. I swear, dude, comicbook.com has the worst writing. A lot of Path of Exile. Yeah, dude. Yeah, check it out. Just over 1,200 hours. Yeah, I've played a little. If this changes, we'll be sure to update the story accordingly. Okay, so apparently getting Bullet Soul games for the Switch. All right, I'm not familiar, but looks like they're headed that way. Is RDR2 about to come to Nintendo Switch? Now, what I'll say, I haven't really played very much Path of Exile over the past few years, and they got bought out. Grinding Gear Games got bought out by Tencent, didn't they? Former independent developer, the studio was acquired by Chinese tech company Tencent in May 2018. Yeah. And while it's still a free-to-play game, and I'm pretty sure their cash shop and everything is still the same, they do have some things that have been incorporated to the game, which has made some of the community a little bit wishy-washy about, such as like like season passes and stuff like that you can pay for. And I don't know what all the season passes incorporate because I just haven't been part of Path of Exile over this the majority of the game since they got bought out by Tencent. But from what I understand, they are largely still the same game that they were while I was playing. Yeah. But understand that. My experience with the game was largely while they were still just GGG and not owned by Tencent, okay? And I haven't kept up totally with what kinds of changes have come along with that purchase there. What I do understand is for the most part the game is still the same game it was. Rumor may corroborate an even older rumor about RDR2 coming to Switch. RDR2 is known for being one of the most technically impressive video games out there, thanks to its massive open world, incredibly beautiful graphics, and lifelike AI, as well as the community always being up in arms for the fact that Rockstar never gives RDR2 Online any kind of substantial new content. They only give Grand Theft Auto Online new content. And RDR2 Online community is always up in arms about it. Despite how impressive it is, rumors have circulated about it coming to Switch. Many have been trying to figure out how such a game could ever run on Switch, but it seems like there's a chance that it may be revealed soon. In 2021, reputable gaming journalist Steven Titolo stated that he had heard that Rockstar Games was making RDR2 for Nintendo Switch around the same time. He suggested the GTA trilogy was a real thing that was in the works. This all happened before the latter was announced, became a reality on the Switch, no less. The rumor doesn't stop there, though. Earlier this week, journalist Nacho Requena stated that a new Nintendo Direct focused on third-party games will be airing on June 28th, and it will feature a game that's about 4 years old. If you do some quick math, you will realize RDR2 will be 4 years old come this October. Of course, this is pure speculation. No one should hold their breath over this until there's some actual confirmation, but it does seem like some things could be aligning quite nicely. It would make a bit more sense for Rockstar to bring Grand Theft Auto 5 over to Switch instead given it's their pride and joy, but RDR2 would still be a very big deal. Whether it would be available as a cloud-based title or a proper Switch game remains to be seen if it happens, but it's an interesting prospect. Yeah, we'll see. When's the Direct? On the 28th? Is that what it said? '29th. We'll try to watch that. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time a very high graphics game had been ported to Switch and just been graphically downgraded, right? Big notable one there is Witcher 3, right? So it's possible. It's possible. Xbox Cloud Gaming is finally rolling out big latency improvements. Obviously, it wouldn't look as good, but it still gives people that are it gives more people accessibility to a great title. And that's good, dude. It's just good. Xbox Cloud Gaming is finally rolling out big latency improvements. Microsoft has detailed its work on latency improvements for games on the cloud-based platform. And what's more, mouse and keyboard support is still due to come later this year. We've already read about the mouse and keyboard support, which is good. Xbox Cloud Gaming's display pipeline bears a latency of around... We read about this, dude. I'm pretty sure we read about this. I'll skim it. Xbox Cloud Gaming's display pipeline bears a latency of around 8 to 74 milliseconds. That's the time it takes for controller inputs to register in-game. However, it's now working on bringing its direct capture tech to a wider number of games on the service. This will cut latency to an impressively low 2 to 12 milliseconds, according to the latest update from Xbox game streaming team's Morgan Brown. Similarly to many of the best 4K TVs, direct capture slashes latency by disabling a number of features. These include HDR dynamic scaling and 1440p resolution cap. That last one we won't have to worry about just yet. Xbox Cloud Gaming is capped to 1080p on PC and Xbox Series XS and 720p on mobile at present. We kind of already read about both those things, so we'll just move on. But good to know. Good to know. Never bad to kind of rehash some stuff real quick. Epic Games Store introduces rating system designed to stop review bombing. I'll read this. We'll rehash what we kind of already talked about previously regarding this issue. We've already hit on this. Basically, okay, Epic Games Store is improving its functionality over time as they need to. There are many things they lack that, like the Steam Store does very well. I would say that Epic actually probably needs to kind of think outside the box a little bit, as it were, and maybe try to incorporate some things that Steam isn't even doing to try to stand out a bit. But they definitely need to incorporate some things like, customizable profiles for gamers like to flex. They're rolling out achievements for games, but they need to allow gamers to flex with profile customization. They're making it to where we can start putting tags on games, rating systems, things like that. But they're going to need to find something that helps them maybe stand apart from Steam a little bit, I think. The Epic Games Store is improving its functionality over time, and now it's going to wade into the treacherous waters of user reviews. A recent update has added ratings and polls to the store, which players will see at intervals about after playing games, and the information gathered here will be used to populate a game store page with more information about it. Most notable element of this update is how Epic designed the functionality around the problem of coordinated behavior. Customer reviews are now as important, if not more so, than those of professional critics across many fields. But online dynamics can see them used in unintended ways. The most striking example of this is in the games industry is review bombing, where a game that is seen to have committed some great offense is flooded with negative reviews. Yeah. The intentions are, of course, impossible to tease out with group behavior like this, but certainly elements of it seem to be making a public spectacle of the target, expressing frustration and ultimately harming sales. The important thing to remember about review bombing is that it can happen for the most trivial of reasons, while in other cases it's because of wider cultural issues. Yeah, I'm not gonna... So reviews are good, but the opportunity they allow for group behavior can be and often is exploited. Epic's solution is that not everyone can review a product. It randomizes the feedback requests that will appear for users at the end of some sessions. Following a play session, quote, following a play session, random players will be offered the opportunity to score the game up to 5 stars. Over time, these scores will help populate the overall rating that will appear on the product's store page. Because these requests are randomized, we won't spam our players, and we probably won't ask about every game or app used. This approach protects games from review bombing and ensures people assigning scores are actual players of the games. You'll also have to have spent at least 2 hours total in a given game before the EGS will ask you about it. As well as the ratings, players will also be randomly selected to answer polls. Players will be asked questions that relate to their most recent session. Questions will cover a broad range and will have a number of potential responses. Could be asked to respond yes or no. Is this game good to play with a group? Could be presented with multiple choice polling. How challenging are the bosses in this game? This is very similar to what we read about before. And kind of what we spoke about whenever I pulled this article up earlier is that it's good to try to circumvent the review bombing because it is an issue, right? But I think one of the other issues that comes about is not allowing people that potentially have a good amount of time in the game that could provide a solid review on the software the chance to leave a review if they wish to. I feel like that's a bit short-sighted. I don't know what the exact answer is to the situation. I feel like it's a good idea to have a certain amount of time needed before you can leave a review to avoid the review bombing. But again, a significant amount of time threshold is probably not the play there. Something moderate, though, to where somebody that has a little bit more than just 2 hours, can go leave a review if they wish, and now in what it looks like is that they're not actually able to leave a detailed review. It's just stars. Is that correct? That's it. It doesn't look like they're actual reviews like on Steam. So, and I can't tell if amazing is because of the 5 stars or if that's what somebody wrote. That's going to change things. I honestly, I feel like that's also going to be a bit short-sighted potentially. Not giving people the ability to, I guess that's where they're trying to make up for that a bit with the polling, but, and again, you have to be very diligent when picking your way through user reviews that allow people to write reviews, because people are going to troll all the time, right? Especially on the internet. So picking your way through and finding reviews that seem like people know what they're talking about and are very concise in explaining why they came to these points of decisions about what they experienced in the game. It's you have to pick those out. You have to be very diligent in searching through reviews to find the good ones. If you're actually looking for a nice review to help you decide whether you want to play a game or not. So I guess at this point, it doesn't really matter if you're not able to leave a detailed review. If you're only going for a star rating, that in and of itself seems a little bit short-sighted to me for their review system too, because again, 2 hours for certain games can mean a lot. 2 hours for certain other games can mean very little. So I don't know. We'll have to see how Epic addresses this moving forward. The next Nintendo Direct will focus on third-party games. It's claimed. Yeah, like demos from the new showcases and stuff, or like games from the new showcases, or just demos across the board. What's up, Tinwin? How you doing, buddy? What have you been playing specifically, man? Demos of. That's cool, man. A few. What are some of the better ones you've experienced so far? Have you played Neon White yet? Are you interested in that? Our buddy Pinky's been he played Neon White. He's loving Neon White, and he played Black Book. Have you played Black Book? Both are card games, but very different card games. Cultic, Terrania, System Shock, nice. Fashion Police Squad, dude. I don't know. I'll look up some of these. We're gonna have a little bit of time after news before my kids. My kids are actually out of the house right now, but they'll be back shortly after the news. But we'll have a bit of time to look up some games and some videos and stuff before the raft stuff starts. So, okay, cool, man. Yeah, I'll look it up in just a second. Let's finish the news up, and then we'll take a look at them. Cool. Thanks, buddy. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look. Thanks, man. The Nintendo Direct, yeah, focus on third-party games next, which will be on 29th. According to experienced journalist Nacho Requena, editor of Spanish games magazine Manual, who told viewers during a Twitch stream on Friday that he'd been told to expect new announcements from major publishers. Sorry, I need more coffee. We should have a Nintendo Direct coming Tuesday. Requena said during the live stream, translated by VGC, this will be mainly focused on third-party games. That's what I've been told to expect. Stop it. Also been told that some Persona game will be present, but I don't know which game. They added, I've also been told there will be another game that has been available for some time on other platforms. It's been available for 4 years now. Yeah, we just kind of read about this. Much of Nintendo's first-party games for the remainder of 2022 appear to have been revealed. The company broadcasted a Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct last week, while the Pokemon Company has been holding its own streams for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Yeah. Splatoon 3, Bayonetta 3, and Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope have also been confirmed for release sometime during 2022, with Breath of the Wild sequel officially slipping to 2023. The last Nintendo Direct, which was underwhelming in my opinion, was held in February besides Kirby and focused on games due for release in the first half of the year. During that presentation, Nintendo revealed Mario Strikers, Switch Sports, Xenoblade 3, and Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Also revealed the Booster Course Pass for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which promised 48 tracks that would be released in 8 waves over the course of the following 2 years. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll probably watch it, so we'll see what it comes out and see if we got some things to be hyped about. Overwatch 2 will replace the original, making it unplayable in October. At least Blizzard's upcoming hero shooter will be free to play across all platforms. If you had a sneaking suspicion that Blizzard's currently in beta hero shooter Overwatch 2 would affect the 2016 original game in some way, you were absolutely correct. Wait, when is that? The 29th, I think it said. Just a second, buddy. It didn't say specifically in that article, but we had just looked it up. Not Indie Live. No, that's not right. No, not the last one. Come on, dude. June 29th, right? God, I could probably just go to 20 hours ago here. No, Tuesday. The 28th. 28th, dude. This is what they're saying. 28th. So Tuesday, man. Tuesday. It may arrive on the 29th. So they're saying either the 28th or the 29th. We'll probably see tomorrow. We'll find out for sure. I would assume. Yeah. We'll try to watch it once we get confirmation of when it's happening officially. I'll try to look later today too and find out. We'll try to watch it on stream if we can. Cool. Otherwise, we'll watch the VOD the next day. Cool. Yep. It turns out that when the upcoming sequel drops on October 4th, it will straight up replace Overwatch, rendering the now 7-year-old game unplayable. Now, what was that about, folks, from both games being able to play with each other? Remind me, because my memory sucks. The news comes from a Reddit AMA, folks, from the Overwatch 2 development team, held on June 22nd. It's full of answers on the game's early access period and what's in store once it launches this October. Game director Aaron Keller was also in attendance and fielded some questions, one of which asked what exactly early access meant. More specifically, the Redditor wondered whether Overwatch 2 would replace Overwatch's PvP or shut the game down entirely. Quote, we're using the term early access to indicate that this is just the start of many new things to come to the game, Keller said. We're launching with new heroes, maps, and features. There are even more of these coming seasonally every 9 weeks. Yeah, we know, dude. When OW2 launches on October 4th, it will be a replacement for the current live service. It sounds like Overwatch is effectively becoming Overwatch 2 when the sequel releases. While this contradicts what former game director Jeff Kaplan said about the two being a shared multiplayer environment, when Overwatch 2 was announced in November 2019, at least the sequel will be free to play. However, this does mean that the structure of Overwatch, including stuff like the 6v6 setup, will officially get retired in favor of the new 5v5 matches. At least all your progress will carry over to the new game. Kotaku has reached out to Blizzard for comment. This Reddit AMA comes not long after an Overwatch 2 reveal event, which detailed the seasonal roadmap, clarified that there won't be any loot boxes, and showed off the new tank hero Junker Queen. Yeah. We know about everything else going on with Blizzard, man. Okay. You don't mind that, though? I know people will hate it, but I think it makes more sense. You're talking about, like, the fact that Overwatch 2 is basically just going to take, like, Overwatch 1's going away, and it will just become Overwatch 2? Is that what you mean? Yeah, dude. I know, dude. Yeah. Well, that's what whenever I brought the article up earlier, that's what, whenever the game, like, first started getting beta tested and everything, everybody was like, why did they make the second one? It's, like, some new maps, some new characters. They look a little bit better, but it's basically the first game. Why didn't they just patch it in? You know? And that's what a lot of the talk was from the articles we were pulling up and stuff, right? Engine change. That's what I was trying to get across to people too. Was like what I kind of figured was that it was an easier way for them to build the future of the game, right? Starting on a new engine and things like that, it would make it easier for them to build for the future, right? But ultimately, that's what people were saying was like it doesn't feel a whole lot different. Uh, Call of Duty just announced that they are moving everything to the same engine. Did you know that, Wick? Maybe, maybe, yeah. I mean, it's potential, but it's just so funny. To me, it was really comical because even whenever I pulled up the article this morning before I even got to it, I was like, "This is actually hilarious," because everybody was talking about initially when the beta came out. They were like, "It's the same game, basically." Why didn't they just patch it over? You know what I mean? But that was kind of what I was getting across too. Was exactly what Tim went hit on right there. Was the only thing I could figure was that it gave them a better base to build upon, right? To move forward with the game. Uh, yeah, right. Yeah, Timlin. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and I mean, that's obvious what this was, though. I think because there is not like a ton of new content here, right? This is not like a significant. It's not like if they were to. It's not like they could have just made this an expansion or something, right? You know what I mean? Uh, People would have gone like, "What is this? This isn't." You know what I mean? But I do think that's really what the play was they needed the game was probably starting to feel like it needed a new base to be able to build upon moving forward, and therefore it was like, let's get this built on a new platform, a new engine. We can start working on what we can do moving forward for the future of the game because it is highly popular, right? And it's a very very lucrative thing for Blizzard, no doubt about it, right? So I think that's the thing for them was looking at what they could do moving forward for the title. It wasn't necessarily what Overwatch 2 was going to be right now. It was more what Overwatch 2, Overwatch in general was going to be for the future, right? And giving them something more to build on. And they've said that that's what this is like every season, more characters, more maps, all that stuff. And oh, for real, Wick? Dude, I haven't played Call of Duty in so long, but they did just come out and say that all the Call of Duty games, because they were built on different engines, you know what I mean? A lot of them were. And they're like, we're not doing that anymore. All Call of Duty is one engine now. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I agree. Especially because it's basically the same game. You know what I mean? Aside from the fact of like 5v5 and 6v6 and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think that exactly what people were saying in the first place was it's basically the same game. There are some differences, don't get me wrong. Um, but I think that it's probably a good play for them to just go, look, this is our game moving forward. You're going to have all your stuff from the first one, but this is our pivot. This is where we're bringing everybody, okay? I think that's probably the best play for them. I just found it comical, you know what I mean? Because not only did Blizzard go, you'll be able to play both. And now they're like, that might not be the case. you know? And from the get go, I mean, I kind of understood why they were kind of probably making Overwatch 2, even though it wasn't a lot of new content, was exactly what Tim went hit above, was they needed a new platform, a new engine to be built on, and for the future of the game and stuff. I think that was the big play. So I don't know. Metal's one of our big Overwatch players here in the community, and we'll probably get his take on it at some point in the future. We'll see what he says. $15,000 later, Diablo Immortal player finally has his legendary gem. There it is. Congratulations. Okay, so I had been referencing a streamer. This is that streamer. The last time we checked on a streamer, Quinn, and his attempts to buy his way to glory in Diablo Immortal, he had spent $6,600 and not attained a single 5-star legendary gem. I am happy to report that after more than doubling his investment, he finally got his loot. Okay, so it was $25,000 New Zealand. I apologize. I will. Huge difference. There actually is a huge difference between New Zealand and U.S., but this is still absolutely absurd. Okay. This still means that Quinn spent over almost $16,000 before he got his first 5-star legendary gem in Diablo Immortal. This is the person I'd been referencing over the past couple of days. About the content, getting the content, seeing how much money they would have to spend before they got this in-game item, and then immediately uninstalled the game. This is that individual. Yeah. I didn't realize whenever I saw the clip and everything that it was actually being 25,000 New Zealand before rather than US. But so I apologize. It's still a ton of money, man. It's still a ton of money. Buying your way to these items isn't the only way you can get them. Really? 3 main ways to get 5-star legendary gems in Diablo Immortal. Buy them using platinum you accumulated by selling other gems in the market, using legendary crests and eternal orbs or elder rifts for a better chance at legendary gems, and finally spending real world money. Okay. From what I understand, you still can't get in-game item or like you can't do in-game, so you can't get in-game gear and everything without spending money, though. From what I understand, remember, simply buying your way to these items isn't the only way you can get them. As we've seen here, is indeed the worst way, but that's not the point. The point here is that having it as an option at all is one of the reasons predatory game economies suck. As Kotaku AU wrote when reporting on his achievement, Quinn has certainly drawn his share of criticism throughout the experiment. His reckless spending and bursts of white-hot anger after failed drops caused many to wonder about his emotional stability. Others, look, Quinn is, if you don't know who Quinn is, this individual is known for just flying off the handle and stuff. I don't know. Content, man. It's one of the reasons he's gotten popular, right? Others in our comments, I don't watch his streams, but I know who he is because of. Others, even in our comments, were unhappy to see him giving Blizzard exactly what it wanted. I hit on this. His money. In the end, though, he proved his point. Yep. Chasing 5-star legendary gems is a fool's errand. A system designed to clear out bank accounts while giving very little back to the player. Mm-hmm. Anyway, thanks for your service, Quinn. You can now stop playing Diablo Immortal for good, which he uninstalled as soon as he got it. It was, yeah, I mean, he played right into their hands. It was a ploy for content by him. He probably made his money back anyways, if not more, just by all the traffic that he made content-wise off of it and everything. So it wasn't necessarily a bad play on his part. Blizzard got exactly what they wanted. He played right into their hands with exactly what they're trying to do with this, and which sucks. That's exactly the points I was trying to get across. Very well said by Kotaku. Last article I have, guys. If you have anything else to bring up, let me know. Kids aren't here yet. We'll go look at some of those games Tim Wynn brought up, stuff like that. We'll watch some videos or whatever until the kids get here and we start playing some Raft. Cool. But if you have anything else to bring up before I end the news segment, let me know. Okay, this will be the last one. Wrath of the Lich King is where WoW Classic starts diverging from WoW. This is actually where I quit playing WoW originally. No. What was the order of the WoW? Dude, it's been so long now. WoW expansion release dates. Was it the Burning Crusade? When did Burning Crusade come out? I can't even remember now. It's been so flipping long. Expansions. Whoa, where was that? Yeah, Burning Crusade, then Wrath of the Lich King. Yeah. So yeah, this was the last one I played. Wrath of the Lich King. Mm-hmm. This is the one that came along with the Death Knight, right? That was actually pretty cool. But wasn't that what it was called? Something like that? It's been so long, dude. World of Warcraft Classic will soon be receiving the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, which is a big deal because for some folk, this was WoW's greatest era. The expansion also introduced some features, most notably the looking for group option, which have long been blamed for WoW losing that early sense of community, rightly or wrongly. In other words, some see Wrath of the Lich King as WoW's golden age, and others see it as the moment that when WoW began to change from something they loved into a more of a randoms theme park, culminating in the game-changing and incredibly divisive Cataclysm expansion, which really couldn't have a better name. This is the tension that Blizzard currently faces with WoW Classic and Wrath of the Lich King. Players want it, but it's debatable whether they want all of it. The developer is trying to thread the needle of keeping Wrath of the Lich King as what it was, while also tweaking the things it maybe got wrong the first time. The looking for group option, for example, is gone, and that's just the start. Blizzard's stated philosophy with WoW Classic has been #no changes. Now it's #some changes. When World of Warcraft Classic first launched, it followed a very strict design pillar. No changes, says the Blizzard blog post. At Blizzard, we faithfully recreated World of Warcraft as it existed in 2006, with as few changes as possible, while still making it able to run in a more modern environment in 2019. But World of Warcraft didn't stop in 2006. It continued to evolve and changed over the years. As we re-release these expansions, we find the design pillar, no changes, isn't sufficient anymore. With World of Warcraft's expansions came design changes to the game, and some of those changes were not consistent with the way classic World of Warcraft felt. Where should the evolution of the game stop if we want to retain the classic feel even while releasing new content? There are some concrete examples of changes being made to itemization. In particular, Blizzard lists its 4 goals and the principles they serve as follows: foster a vibrant player ecosystem engaging in all of Wrath of the Lich King. Instanced content serves nurture and protect social experiences. Maintain a healthy density of players enjoying heroic dungeons throughout the entire expansion. Serves nurture and protect social experiences and approachable and familiar. Preserve nostalgic itemization elements. Serves approachable and familiar, and the world is the main character. Provide a consistent itemization scheme across all expansion phases. Serves approachable and familiar. Blizzard goes on to detail some ideas it's thinking about but hasn't implemented, such as 10-player and 25-player raids dropping the same items, heroic dungeons getting improved drops, or increasing the starting difficulty of heroic dungeons. One change it has made is to make Naxxramas a bit tougher because the studio reckons it ended up easier than intended. Heroic dungeons are also getting a rework in loot and difficulty in order that they stay attractive to players for longer. These quickly became embarrassingly easy in OG Wrath time. Blizzard says it may also add new challenges to the dungeons to help out with this, and suitable rewards. Finally, the developer reassures players that whatever changes are made, we will ensure all Wrath of the Lich King raid and dungeon items can still be acquired, as well as their unique art. The blog post ends with a reiteration of the 3 WoW classic design pillars, though really the take-home message is that this is when WoW Classic begins to seriously diverge from OG WoW, yeah. This was always the big question with the whole project. Does it just follow the original game's history exactly, or do Blizzard make improvements with hindsight. We're on the latter path. Wrath of the Lich King will definitely see renewed interest in WoW Classic. If you ask me, the game was never better than during the return of Arthas. Blizzard hasn't yet dated the expansion, but it's due this year. And here's everything we know about how the studio is bringing back one of WoW's greatest eras. Yeah, I enjoyed all of my time in WoW, but I did, I was very much made aware after I quit playing by people that the game had changed a lot in and after this expansion. I played all the way through this expansion, and I just didn't have time to invest in the game anymore. Too much stuff going on in life, man, and I had to quit. Great news segment today. They always are, man. They always are. But I really appreciate questions, input, having you guys here and a part of what we come across is great, and I appreciate it so very much. What you guys mean to this community and to me, it's just very hard to express in words, and I thank you all very, very much. If you are watching this as a VOD on YouTube and you're enjoying the content, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button and potentially leave me a comment so we can have a bit of a discussion regarding some of these topics that we went over today, okay? Also see what you can do about coming and hanging out with us at 6 o'clock a.m. CST every single day, where we start off each stream with video gaming news, all right? Other than that, just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we will catch everybody tomorrow morning for our June 27th edition of Video Gaming News. All right?